Everybody, I'm back again. I wanted to do the Teal Coffee Journal that I was speaking about in my other video. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it in 3 parts, only because this is really, it's got 3 signatures and it's really chubby. I went and just kept working on it and before I knew it, I had 3 signatures and I was filling it up, and now it's a monster of a journal. I love it. I just don't know that I'll ever make another 3 signature journal again, just because of the amount of time it took me, since I like to add a lot of embellishments. I did those small journals, and that was kind of hard for me to do. I usually prefer to have a lot of stuff in them. Anyway, so this is the Teal Coffee-Themed Journal. I'm just going to flip through. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, just because, like I said, it is each signature is pretty busy. So, and this is some muslin that I had dyed. And I actually dyed it with paper, streamer paper. And it came out a beautiful teal color. And I really wanted to use it in something. And so this is what I chose to use it in. It's been a while since I've looked at this journal, because I wanted to do a video and I just haven't had the time. So I'm gonna have some forgetful moments and all that of what I actually did. But anyway, I made a little notebook here, just with some papers in there to journal on, eyelash trim, vintage laces. This is a digital kit that I had gotten on Etsy that I used, but I combine most of the times my the digitals that I do buy along with other papers that I have. I used these and made little charms out of them. So I put a couple of those in here with bulb pins and the some vintage paper clips. Everything is distressed with teal. There's lots of pockets, lots of embellishments. This is a little teeny booklet that I made, and there's some stamped images in it. It has a little pocket it goes into. This is some handmade paper. Another little notebook. And this was a coffee cozy that I had altered. Some hand-dyed papers, coffee-dyed, lace papers in here. And this was a pocket. And it has a glassine bag with some papers that I dyed, lace dyed. And I've got like a little Bulldog clip. Some pretty washi tape on there. This is a belly band that I've cut out, and it's Braille paper. And like I said, it's a belly band. This is just a card to use or to journal on and keep in here. This is a little glassine bag. And then I made another little booklet. You can do schedules or of things that for that month, or just journal in it, whatever you please. And it's a little coffee cup paper clip. Some teal dyed lace paper, belly band, journaling card. And this is an altered coffee stir stick. and tucks back there behind this little pocket. And here is a tag. Has the string on it to make it easier to pull out. And this was actually a button envelope that I altered. It had, you know, sometimes how buttons will, extra buttons will come with your shirt or coat or something. And you'll see a lot of lace dyed papers in here. Lace belly band. Oh, and then I have this coffee charm on this bobby pin just to hold this in place. And this is a upcycled, I guess you could say, journaling card. It has special days for each month, so whether you, it says like you can put birthdays and all that on it, but this is a vintage envelope that I embellished. Some papers, and I just tuck that back here behind this lace belly band. That's where this comes in handy to keep that kind of just in place. This has a vintage, oh, it's a, I don't know why I can't think of what it is right now, but a clip, and it just kind of holds papers together. It grabs them. Some stitching I did on my machine. It's a little embellished envelope, another little pad of paper. There's a little teacup, coffee cup on it. We'll say coffee cup since it's a coffee cup themed journal. Another pocket, and there's some braille on the top here. This is a vintage library card that I sewed around, distressed. This is a vintage receipt. This has a little rhinestone on it. This coffee cup that I put in here. And this is like a little tuck spot for these tags. And I have some crinkled seam binding, the tag topper. Here's some more of that handmade paper. There's a tuck spot. This is an embellished bobby pin. I like the bobby pins because they're coated and they don't snag on things, especially when you have a lot of lace. I use a lot of paper clips too, but just certain times I think it's nice to have these in here. Just so it doesn't catch on things and rip them. And it's just easier, to be honest, it's just easier to slide them off and on with certain things. This is a book page out of a vintage booklet that I have. Interesting, it tells you how much things were. It's a little vintage card my friend made me, and I think I bought them off of her, not sure right now, but a little key. This is a handmade paper. Trying to hurry, but I don't want to rip things. So, another little tag, glassine envelope that I embellished. It's kind of neat going back through this since it sat in my on my desk for so long. So it's kind of neat going right back through it again to remember what I did. This is one of those vintage slides, and then I put a piece of the digital print in there. Eyelash trim on some of the top tags. This belly band, but this is a piece of vellum. It's a pocket. There's some other ephemera in it. And I put the lace at the pocket so you can see where it kind of goes in, makes it easier, more visible, so you know where to put that stuff in. And this is an embellished paper clip. Oh, this is a vintage receipt, and I added like a little stamp that I had cut out on the ephemera. Embellished this. It's like a library card, pocket, envelope holder, something like that. Envelope. And then I just kind of flipped it over there and used the paper clip. This is a flip out. It has a pocket. This is Braille paper I made the envelope out of. And this is my favorite thing out of the whole book is the it's a vintage Viewmaster slide, and I have a lot of watch pieces, and so these are actual hands and the little gear from an old stopwatch. I thought about putting the video to music, but there are some little things like this that I did want to say. I guess I could have put that on the screen in words, but won't be too bad doing 3 videos. And this is just another little journaling card. And this was actually a gold standard certificate. I had bought 10 of these, and there were vintage ones, and so I wanted to use it because it was for coffee. It says let's see, Lacey's fine pocket purse. It talks about coffee on here and all that, but it's interesting. And this is just a book page out of a dictionary, a vintage dictionary, and I put that actually embellished it with, I think this is a napkin on top of it that I embellished the book page with and made it into an envelope with a little button. Piece of vintage graph paper that I had here. And this is another type of paper clip and a tag that I had made. It has some teal colored sari silk on it. And I decoupaged I made the tag with on cardstock with a book page underneath, and then I took the decoupage and did with a napkin on top, and then I stitched around it. Oh, and I added the eyelet to it. Okay, and this is a clip, a binder clip. I made a little book. This actual paper was from the front and back of an old vintage book, the pieces like before you get into the book itself. So I used those to make this little booklet, and these are actually vintage papers out of a little notebook. I believe it was 1950 is what these came out of, that book that I bought. And then this is a vintage postcard. Time for a coffee break. Postcard, post-it note. It's kind of neat. That's just something to journal on, and some other tags. Oh, this is one of those, like I call it a flashcard, but it says coffee, and then it's in German on the other side. I have different languages, and I like that one, so I put it in here. Bulldog clip. Journaling cards. This is obviously coffee themed, that card. And this is a pocket, and I made a mini journal for in here, and these are just some coffee journaling cards. It has a little, this is actually a vintage paper clip, a triangle one. And it just opens like that, and you have these pages to journal on. And it just closes, whoops, like this, then this, then this. Here we go. Okay, first, this was an old check, process check. I think I covered the date up. Maybe from the 50s. And it's got the double tuck spot behind this, and in front this was a CD envelope, CD envelope. So I just altered it and put a decoupaged napkin on top, music book page. This is a vintage card. Forget what they're called. Ugh. It'll come to me after I stop the video. It has some tatted lace here. I love tatted lace. It's so pretty. And we have another one of those paper clips. This is a Glassine bag. I put a pocket on the front with a card. And then there's a pocket back here. That's what I tucked this little card into. And this is a vintage receipt. And I distressed it and stamped it. And then these are not vintage, but they were part of the kit that I purchased. I forgot how much stuff I put in here. See, I knew I had a lot of things in here to show, and I knew I'd have to do 3 videos, but this is a lot. Okay, so it's another tag, large teal paper clip. Wait, I did this wrong? No. I guess I'll just have it like that. Again, this is one of those clips to, like a little binder clip to keep the papers together. I'm just going to take this off. Added some vintage rickrack to the top, which needs cut off right there. I forgot to cut that. Some more vintage lace on the edge of that page. This is just a card. I did do some stamping on certain things. This is another little charm. Has like a diamond and a pearl. These are vintage ledger sheets. This is a flip up. And this was vintage ephemera. It says 8 famous restaurants and coffee shops. Oops. It's a journaling card. Let's see. No, this is vintage inspired ephemera. This isn't actually vintage. It just looks like it's vintage. Another page pocket. This is a vintage receipt. Has the stub on it still that can be torn off. This is not vintage. It just looks vintage. I know what's vintage and what's not, just because I have a huge lot of ephemera, vintage ephemera that I have purchased over the last couple of years. And this little fabric piece is a swatch. So we're getting into, you know what, I already did the 2 signatures. Okay, so might as well just finish this up, right? All right, good. Guess I got carried away. I wanted to stop after the first signature, but that's okay. All right, so why? Oh, this is supposed to stay here, and it's a pocket. Okay, I was trying to figure out what I did there. Okay, tag. And here's another process check. dyed this glassine bag with the teal mixture that I did with some other things. And this is a vellum envelope. And just some papers again to journal on. Another coffee cozy thing that I had altered. Lots of fun in here. All right, here's a little journaling pocket, and this is like vintage inspired. I made, instead of the larger Rolodex cards, I made a bunch of little miniature ones. So I'll put that in there. Put it back there. I did do some of the pages with this edging that I punched out. Some embellished paper clip. I apologize for taking the time to put all of these things back right now on camera, but I know I'll forget how things go if I don't do it right now. Or I should say, I'm afraid that I'll forget. I see that there are, okay, so this has a double pocket also. So I have this one in that part, and then this one in this part. And, oh, and this is a, this right here was a bag that coffee came in and that I altered. And this was one of a coffee cup, and then I just cut it and I made 3 different pockets. Pocket. Oh, this is a stir stick also. It was I think it was a straighter kind, and I put a paper clip on it. And I don't know if there's something on this side. No. So it's just, you know, there, because sometimes it's nice just to have an extra one in case you want to add things to the journal. This just flips down like this. Little tag. I need to add some things to that. Some string. There were a couple cards. Yeah, this one needs distressed. I just did see that I have a few more things that I want to distress. And I made this like pattern so I could make a cup like this. Since I don't have a Cricut machine to do all that, I made my own pattern and did it myself. And let's see, this looks like it's just journaling, yeah. Space, just a little pocket here. And hey, that is it. So, there it is. Here's your little charm. And I added some little teapots to it. I've got a little flower charm, a little heart, some other gems. Yeah, so, and of course, if you don't want it on here, sometimes that annoys people. It's just a bulb pin. It can come off easily and put on something else or somewhere else you would like it. So that is the coffee journal. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I am going to put it in my Etsy shop. So watch out for that link if you're interested in it. Hey, thanks, and have a great night. Bye-bye.